Hello and welcome to another episode of the Thrifty Wrist. I'm your host Joe, and today we're reviewing the ALBA Active Tiffany dial, the AL4321X. Recommended retail price on this is $145. Automatic movement, 100 meters of ATM rating. Case size is 41 millimeters, 20 mil lugs, and a mineral crystal. I picked this up with my Qantas frequent flyer points for the equivalent of about 200 Australian dollars, which I think is a pretty good price considering the specs. So, black gloves are on. Let's open up the box. This is my first ALBA that I've ever owned, so we'll see how it's packaged up. So it's pretty neat, sitting on a bit of a satin cushion here. See what the card says. Oh, good, they're not instructions. Thank you for being a modern brand where you don't have a little instruction booklet. Don't know why it's talking about a button battery when it's definitely an automatic, and it's even got an automatic sticker on the front there, so that's a bit strange, but get rid of the satin cushion there. All right, so as you can see, it's got a bit of a waffle dial there. That's really neat, especially in this era of Tiffany colored dials coming into fashion. You can see that as the light sort of bounces out of the crevices of that waffle dial, it looks really neat actually. Get this thing started so we can start seeing it ticking. Pretty smooth movement there. Nice. I love it how automatic sweeps like that. They wrapped it up pretty seriously. They're not mucking around with the protection here. I guess it's actually it's not even a Seiko movement, but it is a Seiko watch, so it must be a different in-house movement that they use in these. The clasp feels a bit tacky and cheap, but it's relatively smooth. It's a stamped clasp, nothing to write home about. The bracelet's a little bit average. It's they're like rolled and hollow end links, so I guess they're trying to be very, very entry level with this watch, which is such a shame because it's got such a handsome looking dial. The different types of finishes are pretty neat too. Are very you can't really tell from the camera, but they're very different colors of stainless steel, which is a bit of a shame. They probably could have matched them a little bit better, but doesn't matter too much. All right, well the crown's at 4 o'clock, which is a bit of I guess a Seiko group thing that they do. And if you hadn't heard of ALBA, or you haven't heard of ALBA very much, it makes sense because they've replaced a very well-known brand, which is Pulsar. So ALBA came in as the replacement for Pulsar in the Seiko group at this sort of entry level of watch. But you can see that they're sort of a little bit higher than entry level. I mean, this is an automatic movement. It's got a textured dial. It's stainless. It's well built. It's got a exhibition case back. So it's not very, very entry level, but I guess if you consider Seiko's relatively premium, it is pretty entry level. All right, on wrist, it wears fairly well. It's quite light actually, and I do like to wear lighter watches a little bit tighter, just so that I can, so they don't move around too much. They don't make too much noise, especially with those hollow end links. So you can see that waffle dial's a bit easier to see as I sort of move it around. But yeah, no, it's a pretty neat little watch, and I really like it. So that's it. That's the ALBA Active Tiffany AL4321X.